And of course, as promised, Big Ten, just everything running back, NFL running back, Ron Dayne, Heisman Trophy winner. This guy's done stuff that only like less than a percent of people, I mean, less than a 0.001% of people have done in their life. And that's win a Heisman Trophy. Also played in the NFL, though. But I ran into Ron Dayne this past weekend at the University of Minnesota, of all places, at the track meet. And I'm looking, and I'm like, man, that can't be Ron Dayne. That guy is too small. Like, the Ron Dayne I remember was a bruiser, and this guy is, looking all sexy and got the chain on, and he done lost, looking like he's in the weight room. And it's Ron Dayne in Minnesota, and so of course I'm like, man, I got to get him on the podcast. Ron, I want to thank you for joining me. Well, you know what? Let's get it out.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get it out. Let's get it out the way now, man. You got the shirt on. I saw the Wisconsin shirt already.
Yeah, you know it.
So Minnesota, Wisconsin, man, like it's the Axe. They play for the Axe.
Yeah.
What's one of your biggest memories or best memories of that rivalry when you were playing?
Well, probably my biggest one was that we were getting ready. We were almost like at halftime. We were down. I'm not sure what year, but we were in Minnesota, and we were down probably like 13 points at halftime. And we was going in to score right before halftime. And I had dislocated my finger, and I had to put it back in. And then and then I'm like, oh, man, coach, my hands is hurting. He's like, well, you got to play. And I'm just like, coach, I don't know how much I can't carry the ball. You know what I'm saying? Once I said that, he gave me the ball 15, 20 times in a row. And then we came back and ended up winning the X. And it was probably in 98, maybe.
Yeah, I think it actually was 99. Yeah, because 99? I remember that. Yeah, you guys beat us at the end. It was 20-17, 1999. Yep, in Minneapolis. I thought we had it. They kind of had you under control a little bit, and then I think you just had a couple nice runs, and we couldn't get it done. But yeah, no, I didn't know about the finger though, man.
Yeah.
So you popped your own finger back in.
Yeah, it's the ring finger, and it's still swollen. It's still swollen to this day.
Oh man. So, looking at Paul Chryst, when you look at the Wisconsin-Badgers, you look at the Gophers with PJ Fleck. And PJ Fleck, man, is one of the most polarizing figures right now when you talk about row the boat and all that stuff. And the row the boat mantra, for those that don't know, this means, put your head away from the target. So your back's to the target, just roll, let your coach lead you. Just roll, just go. Is there any moments in your life you can think of where you literally just had to put your head down and just push through? Because I know you can't say row the boat, but I know there's moments in athletes' lives where they have to do that, though. Close their mind off and just go and just trust God, man. Like, have you had moments like that?
Well, actually it has, my senior year, with me going to try to break the rushing record, trying to get to the Rose Bowl again, and, win the Heisman. So, we lost middle way in the season to, I think, Cincinnati. And I fumbled the ball, and I got smashed by Sports Illustrated. Everybody was smashing me, like he's Heisman, he's not gonna get it. So our whole goal, we all just stayed focused and did what we had to do, and we just won. I think the rest of our games, and all we did was just like you said, like Coach said, you row and you let your coach handle everything else. You know what I'm saying? We know his game plans. We just go with the coach said, and I like his little theme on that, especially for his team. Like, let me coach and y'all just come with me, and that happened my senior year.
Hey, man, I love that. So let's jump into the NFL. I mean, you were NFL running back. When you look at the NFL now, it's becoming a passing league. You look at all these teams signing these receivers to big time money. The running back is becoming far and few. It's not as many as it used to be, where the running back was the key thing everybody wanted to draft. Now you look at the draft this year, the early top guys were all receivers, cornerbacks, safeties, linemen. What is your thoughts on where a guy like you at 250, 260 pounds, pure brute force running back, where would you fit in today's NFL, and where do you see it? Do you see it coming back to where it could be, or do you think this is going to become a passing league going forward?
Well, that's a tough question, but but it usually, hopefully it comes back around for the bigger guys that can run. That's fast. Like the biggest back right now is Henry.
Yeah.
If anywhere, I would go try to play with them and their coaching staff, you know what I'm saying? Because they like big backs. So that'll be one. And then like I would say, any team that give you the opportunity to run the ball and you're in that good offense that it's a lot easier then.
So when you think about the NFL, and I've asked you this question already,
Yeah.
and you kind of told me early on at the track meet who your number one was. But if you had to pick five, and not in any order, but if you had to pick five NFL running backs who you would say are top five right now, who would your top five running backs be?
Oh man, I got to go from University of Wisconsin, JT, Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying? He's number one. And then I would probably go Big Henry. And then I would go the guy from Minnesota.
Okay,
I like
Dalvin
him a
Cook.
lot too.
Yep.
Yep. He's nice. Chubbs is a beast.
Okay.
And then I would give it to Kamara.
Okay.
Illinois.
All right.
I mean Louisiana.
Yeah. So you look at Alvin Kamara, you look at Dalvin Cook, you look at Derrick Henry, like you said, Jonathan Taylor, and I think Jonathan Taylor right now is the all-time, the all-leading fantasy back for this upcoming season. For that simple fact that they're going to run the ball, unlike some teams are going to pass. When you see guys like Christian McCaffrey, and he was highly rated before, and then injuries set in. Do you think that's the reason why running backs are kind of getting pushed down because injuries to running backs are becoming more and more, Dalvin Cook faced him, Alvin Kamara faced him, Derrick Henry faced it this past year. So now people are saying, why pay a running back that's going to get beat up when a receiver, is not going to take as many hits? Do you think that's probably part of the problem?
Yeah, and especially you got to think about the offense. Everything is spread out now. So you don't have fullbacks on teams no more that's going to take that extra hit if you're a running back, so it's a tight end. So it's totally different now. You spread it out. And like McCaffrey, yeah, he can be on the swing. He's almost like what he really reminds me of is a Marshall Faulk. You know what I'm saying? Because Marshall Faulk was doing it way before anybody was doing that. Like he was like a wide receiver, period. Like they line him up on routes and do all that. So, now that most of the teams are really running into that and going with that, I don't think the big backs will be able to come back now because, hey, you ain't got a fullback. You ain't running it. You got to do passes. You got to come out the back. A lot more than just like they used to do with the big backs.
And when you look at the Big Ten West, last question, the Big Ten West, you got Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and that's kind of the early on favorites everybody's kind of rolling with. I think that's an easy one for people to roll with. Those three teams are going to fight for the West. Where do you see Wisconsin football going this season?
Well, I think we should be pretty good. I think we should be able to come out and just get on the roll and have some fun. Got some new guys in there, some younger guys that's going to pick up some big positions and be able to play, step in, especially on defense. And offense is going to be all right, so we ain't got to worry about that.